Sometimes, for any number of reasons, some video game franchises should just go away. Forever. And yet somehow they just keep coming back. Over and over and over again.
It's not that we hate these games, it's just that we've had enough of them and they need to stop being made. Right now.
So, hey, I'm Stuttering Craig.
And I'm Nervous Nick.
For ScrewAttack's top 10 franchises that should die.
Number 10.
Not to rant on anybody's success or anything, but you gotta ask yourself, is Angry Birds really a good game?
Yes.
Okay, better question. Is Angry Birds so good that it deserves 4 separate apps that are just more or less the same thing? A whole line of plush merchandise and every vendor that can carry them? A feature film? An animated show? And a freaking theme park attraction?
No, it's not.
You're damn right it's not. You're throwing birds at pigs with a slingshot, people! And for the love of God, holy crap, Romeo, this is not the next Mario.
Number 9.
So you push X over and over and over and over and over and over.
Hey, it was fun at first, but how many Dynasty Warrior games do we need before this gets old?
Number 1 and over.
And how many have been made?
And over 7. And that doesn't even count the Gundam spin-offs. Over and over and over and over and over. I can do it too, Craig.
Number 8.
Hey, it's a good thing that there's games out there that don't target the hardcore gamer, but one series we just don't quite understand the existence of is Legos.
They're entertaining games and all, but why? Why take a perfectly good Harry Potter or Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Batman game and make them Legos? Like, what's wrong with the original versions? If you like Legos so much, just play with some real ones. It'd be more fun anyway.
How do you know your franchise has gone way too far? 3 words. Lego Rock Band.
Number 7.
Call of Duty is a textbook definition of garbage. Look it up in the dictionary and it's right there.
Every year it's more of the same Michael Bay explosions, campers, and cheap noob tubers. In fact, every new game that comes out is more like DLC for the previous game than an actual sequel.
Stop milking the franchise, Activision, you money-grubbing, soulless corporation. Stop. That's the type of crap you've been saying for years now, and I gotta be honest, it's getting really, really old.
I myself am kind of indifferent to the COD series, and the only reason I want to see it die is so the internet can finally shut up about it.
Shut up! It's successful and it's popular, therefore it's the cool thing to hate. And troll!
Number 6.
I remember years ago when I was among the thousands of DBZ fans begging for somebody to make a game based off of my favorite cartoon. We got Budokai out of that, and it was pretty cool. Everything I'd hoped for.
But thanks to people like you, Nick, the Dragon Ball Z faucet hasn't been turned off for over a decade. There's been a game every year, at least a game every year. And for a good chunk of it, they all play pretty much the exact same, telling the exact same story.
I admit my mistake.
Good.
At this point, Bandai's just making stuff up so they can say that there's something new in every game. I mean, I watched almost every episode of the series when I was younger, and I have zero idea what I'm even looking at right now.
Number 5.
Wait, they still make DDR?
Oh yeah, Konami hit the jackpot back in 1998 and since has made more DDR games than most people know exist. The thing is, the big reason DDR was such a big hit was that it was advertised as an exercise game. Fast forward to 2012 where we have so many exercise games, we don't even know what to do with them.
Fact is, DDR is a relic. It's been done to death, and with the technology of today, we don't really have the need for plastic mats anymore. Why just use your feet when things like Kinect, as much as we hate to praise it, can make you use your whole body?
Great point, Nick. You just put Konami out of business.
Number 4.
Kingdom Hearts started off as a simple, charming story that fused the world of Final Fantasy with the world of Disney. Pretty random matchup, but it was enjoyable.
Yep, then Square Enix tried to make the story all complex and deep, and 4 spin-offs and a sequel later, well, here we are. Nobody has any idea what the hell's going on anymore. I don't, the fans don't, Square Enix obviously doesn't either, because even after 2 of the spin-offs received remakes, we still don't have a true Part 3.
We have no idea what about all that makes Sora such a popular cosplay at conventions to this day. Seriously? Really?
Chicks dig a giant key, Nick.
Is that a metaphor?
Sex, yes. Also, Finny Fun. That can't be forgiven.
Swing this way, we'll dance and we'll play. Now it's very easy, come on in, just take a chance and shake a feet.
No, next number.
Let me hit this imaginary button right here to go on to the next number. Here we go!
Number 3.
Dumps it out right.
He's in!
If you know me at all, you know how much I love arcade sports games like NBA Jam or NFL Blitz because they're so freaking unrealistic, it's great! Then you got games like Madden.
Look, we get that we're not the target audience here, but the problem isn't that we're not big on it. The problem is that there's no alternative. There can't be. EA owns the NFL license, therefore not allowing any other company to make a game with NFL teams in it.
Competition is what makes business work, and right now EA basically has a monopoly on football simulation games. It's kind of like when WWE bought WCW and pro wrestling's audience took a big hit afterwards because WWE didn't have anyone forcing them to be creative.
Found a way to squeeze some pro wrestling into the top 10, huh?
Yup.
You proud of yourself?
Yup.
Number 2.
Final Fantasy is one of the most successful, most beloved, and most important RPGs in the history of video games. Once upon a time.
Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 13-2? What happened, guys? The last Final Fantasy game that was generally accepted by most fans was Final Fantasy X, and that came out in 2001.
We'd hate to see a classic series like this go, but if the future holds more of this, then maybe saying goodbye before it gets any worse is for the best. Let's hit the old recap before we hit number 1. Number 10, Angry Birds.
Number 9, press X over and over and over.
Number 8,
and
Lego
and
series.
Over. Number 7, Kill Foreigners over and over and
Number
over.
6, Dragon Ball Z.
Number 5, Arrows over and over and
Number
over.
4, Kingdom Hearts.
Number 3, Football over and over.
And number
over
2,
and over
Final Fantasy.
Over and over and over and over and over.
Please stop.
And over. Okay.
It's number 1.
In the movie world, there are some trilogies that stand on their own and don't need a part 4. Indiana Jones, fantastic 3-part story. It got a 4th that nobody wanted. Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe not as strong of a trilogy overall, but it tells a complete story. It also got a 4th that nobody wanted.
The video game equivalent these days would have to be Halo. We had a nice little trilogy all wrapped up and everything was so nice and tight, so why do we need to continue the story? As far as we can tell, the only reason the series is continuing isn't because a bunch of people wanted to get together and make something really special. It's because Microsoft said, hey, this makes us lots of money, let's make a bunch more games. So they are.
And suppose Halo 4 turns out to be awesome and dominates our expectations. It's still like Weekend at Bernie's.
What?
Yeah, everybody's having a good time, but the life of the party isn't quite what it used to be. It's not the same.
Found a way to get a Weekend at Bernie's reference in the top 10, huh, Nick?
Yep.
You proud?
Yep.
That's good. Doesn't really matter how good the game's gonna be because, let's be honest, we already finished the fight in 2007. Let's just let it be. For good. Master Chief was good to us, and I'm just gonna keep talking. Because I don't know how to end this top 10. The series needs to die. Nick used a Weekend at Bernie reference, and that's good enough to end it.